okay? Birthing a new age, Katie, okay? The time has come where the old chapters of your life are closing because they no longer serve you, okay? This is where the new chapters are about to begin, okay? And I want to say with you, the first thing I need to say is Spirit is so proud of you, okay? They're proud of you because what you've been doing is, thank you, the word I'm hearing is you've been working on your confidence, okay? Your confidence is something that you found it hard, okay? I want to go back about a year ago, about a year and a half ago, okay? And Spirit is telling me that as if you had no confidence, okay? And you was lacking a lot of self-esteem as well, okay? This is where you've started to build things up within yourself and now know that there is so much more that is coming in for you every single day as well, okay? This is why I need you to know and understand, okay, about value. Thank you, Spirit, okay? The word I'm hearing about is you needed to understand the word value and what value means. And that means that your energy is valued at a high standard, okay? And this was the thing that you couldn't quite grasp and you couldn't quite see, that how valued you actually was as a person, okay? And I do want to say that you had been through roughs, you had been through tumbles, and you have been repeating same patterns and cycles over and over again. But also what Spirit is telling me is that you was in a rut because you was around condensed, stagnated, negative energy that was holding you back, okay? It was something that you needed to release. It was something that you needed to let go of. It was something that you had to just remove yourself from it, okay? And this is why I want you to know and understand that this is where all of that balance had to come into you, okay? Where you could find your creation, you could find your purpose, your journey, and understand what it was that you needed to do. And that's why you needed to trust your path, okay? It had been there the whole time, okay? But where you was blindsided by everything else that was going on, okay? That's why Spirit is saying to me that you couldn't see how much support and love was actually there for you as well, okay? However, I feel you had a lot of energy vampires around you, Katie, that was sucking the goodness out of you and taking your kindness for granted. So you still have to make sure that you keep them at arm's length, okay? Spirit is telling me that they are something that you don't want to have too much of that energy around you, okay? You had to step away from like that negative energy. What's this card on the floor here? Wow, look at this. Boundaries, yes. Saying no, not being afraid to say no, not being afraid to speak out what you need to get off your chest and what you need to release, okay? And what you really need to focus on, okay? Sometimes you also needed to have boundaries with yourself as well. Yes, and I cut them all off, absolutely. But what I am saying is you need to have boundaries with yourself sometimes, okay? Because sometimes you forget that as well, all right? But you needed to release them, you needed to cut them off, and you needed to let go and ascend, Spirit is telling me. Unbound, are you seeing this? Okay, this was the unbound card. This was saying to you, do you know what? I realised that if I was still in that funk, if I was still in that stagnated energy, I wasn't going to go anywhere and I wasn't going to achieve anything, and I wasn't going to be knowing my value and knowing my worth of who I actually am and what I'm doing, okay? And I feel this for a very long time, that there was a lot of patterns and cycles that you kept repeating over and over and over again. And it was as if that you were obligated, what a word, and that you were signed to them. Does that make sense? Yeah, like it was some sort of contract. But that contract had gone, you know? You're not in that contract energy no more. You're not in that that energy of feeling controlled. You're in your own space, your own energy, your own vibrations, okay? And that's powerful, because that is saying to you, listen, okay, you're releasing the past, you're letting it go, you're not allowing it to hinder you in any way, shape or form, okay, because you are the age of light, okay, you have been training for this for a very long time, okay, but before you couldn't see it because you were so far in it that you couldn't get out of it, all right, but you had to go through the rough to get you to the smooth. Look at this, okay? Now, I've got here the Akasha card, okay? A very, very, very powerful card, okay? It's a card that brings you motivation, that brings you happiness, okay? That brings you desire, vibration of what you needed to know to make you see and be divinely guided to what you're meant to be doing. Because I'm telling you now, with the pillar of light in my hand, okay, this tells me that your energy is picking up so much that you couldn't even imagine it or believe it with your own eyes as well. I felt like I couldn't leave, though I needed them, even though they weren't good for me. Exactly. So it become like codependency energy, a codependent energy, right? But that's where your vibration wasn't matching their vibration, okay? Because their energy was trying to hold you back energy, right? And we didn't want that, okay? We wanted you to ascend. We wanted you to raise your vibrations higher. We wanted to see you grow. But the only way that you was going to even recognize any of this, okay, was seeing it for your own self, okay, with your own eyes. Because if you hadn't have seen that, my lovely, yeah, then I don't feel that you would have, I feel that you'd still been there. That makes sense? So you needed this wake up call and this realization as well, okay? Because I've got here, my lovely, yeah, answering the call. Okay? Now, when you find and understand what spirit is saying to you, okay, that is where your soul is your soul is calling you, okay, to the next part of your destination, okay, the next part of your answers, the next part of what you need to say to get it off your chest as well. Thank you guys, everyone. I appreciate you all, and thank you. And hello, Paul. Okay. Again, this is where you dance. This is where you love. This is where you grow. This is where you come into a finding to dance with life. Okay. Once you start dancing with life, Katie, there's going to be no stopping you. Okay. Your energies are going to shift, they're going to move, they're going to evolve, they're going to ascend, okay, in a good light and a good way, okay, to find perfection, okay, to find desire, to find happiness, to find that fulfillment, okay. But this journey is a journey that you are going to have to start on your own first, okay. Then you're going to start to build up your energies. Then you're going to start recognizing things within yourself, okay. And this is a whole new takeoff of new beginnings and new things that are going to be a new start for you with Imara, okay? And as you can see, this is you here starting your whole new journey, okay? Yes, it's looking quite daunting because you're thinking, my goodness, I just want to be in that temple right now. I just want to be up there in that, you know, that castle, however you may see that, right? But at the end of the day, however you see that, you are going to have to really go through it, my lovely, in order to get you there. But again, you will get there, okay? There's a lot of things that are going on with you at the minute, Katie, right? But it's going to improve, my lovely, okay? It's going to improve as I get the awakening card, all right? This is where I need you to know and understand that there is so many shifts that are coming in and forwards, okay? And this is where you hadn't really sat down with it or sat with it for a minute. Does that make sense, right? So now you doing all of this, okay, is actually making awareness and bringing in the attention of what needs to happen within itself, okay? So play, all right? But don't be so hard on yourself, Katie, yeah? Don't be so hard. Have fun, laugh from it, grow from it, learn from it, evolve from it, ascend from it as well, okay? And that is why I really want you to know and understand about not being so harsh, okay? And again, whoa, my goodness, did you see that card just straight over there, okay? This card is, wow, no wonder this card flew. Oh my goodness, because this card in my hand says, break the chain, break the chain, break the cycle, break the pattern, break it, okay? This is an old chain, right? Who knows? That's how I know. This is an old chain, a cycle, yeah, that goes all the way back through your ancestry, your ancestors' time, okay? These are things that had to be removed, but they also had to be acknowledged. They also had to be what spirit was showing you, okay? And what they were showing you is that heavy energy, an energy that you feel like you can't never shift, you can't never move off of it, right? But that is what was holding you down. That is what was making you feel as if that it was all your fault, and it wasn't, okay? But what I'm saying to you is that this is the time where you can rewrite the whole thing, how you want it to be seen within you, okay? And I feel, Katie, yeah, that you've just asked for a bit of help and support, but this has only been a recent thing, right? There's so much more, Katie, that's coming up, all right? KatieNokes, yes, 100% right, okay? Katie, that is why you are around Sisterhood of the Rose, okay? Very powerful card in my hand. This card is telling me that you are finally starting to find the right connections, the right things that is going to build you up within all of this and what you're going through, okay? Beauty, devotion, positivity, priestess energy, letting go energy, finding a direction and finding what it is you can understand within yourself, okay? There's so many new doorways coming in for you, okay? Wow, look at this. The Great Gathering card, okay? I'm telling you, this is absolutely amazing. This is where everything comes together and it's like bit by bit, day by day, okay? But knowing that that is what Spirit is saying to you right now, okay? You are calling in absolutely your whole spiritual family, and they are saying to you, yes, this is it. We're here. We know where we're at. We know what we're doing. We know what we've got to do, okay? We're finding balance and we're finding that direction within itself as well, okay? This is absolutely amazing reading, Katie. Mirror, okay? This was all about the mirroring energy, okay? This was all about finding that vibration within yourself, okay? What you needed to do. This is very powerful. 0202. Yes, keepers of the earth, okay? This is because Spirit is telling me that you are meant to still be here because you've got missions and you've got things that you need to be getting on with, okay? Finding that pathway, finding that direction, okay, is something that takes a minute to like come to terms with it, yeah? But that's where everything else starts to really, you start to really understand it as well, okay? Yes, everything started to make sense, all the struggles I found myself in. Bless your heart. And do you know why, Katie? Because Spirit was saying it was about don't dim to fit in, yeah? Never dim your light, whether it may be that you knew this person or you didn't even know this person, but never think of yourself as you have to hide yourself, okay? Because I don't want you to be like, that's a mask. Does that make sense? Right? So I want you to not be afraid of your own shadow. And I want you to really acquire and understand something to do. So take that I've said that. And don't ask me why, but I just clicked my finger as well, okay? And all the drama and aggravation is stopping, okay? Because I've got here, wow, Limera, okay? This is about peace and harmony. This is about not allowing any of that get into your headspace. No, 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 no. No, thank you. Don't allow them to come into your headspace. Hang on a second. Yes, they made me feel like I had to pretend to be someone else. That's very sad energy, okay? But it was never that way, okay? Council of Light, okay? This is where spiritual things will really start to come in to fruition, okay? This is where you need to share your voice, okay? Wow, this reading was a heavy one, okay? But know that you are a warrior woman, okay? And you show strength to strength to strength, Katie, every single day, okay? Okay, and then the leap card, my lovely, okay? The leap card. Take that leap of faith. Don't worry of the things that you don't know, okay? That's what makes it more exciting. That's what makes it like more like, oh, I love that. Do you know what I mean? Like, so don't see it as the universe is saying to you that you have to do that, because everyone's got free will. However, I do want to say you can see the elevation, okay, in this, but she's also still worried about her old self, okay, as well, all right? And there's also talks about putting up some sort of furniture around as well, and Imara as well, okay. But this is where you just need to nurture yourself a bit. But yeah, craziness. But yeah, wow, honestly. But Katie, you're doing absolutely amazing. You're an absolute superstar, and we can't thank you enough, okay? This is why you got Sisterhood of the Rose, okay? This Sisterhood of the Rose card represents just being away from stressful things. Do you know what I mean? Things that are going to try and stress you out, but you are not allowing any of that, okay? Because you're breaking cycles, you're breaking patterns. Okay, guys, put love ups in the chat, please. Okay, Vivian. We're doing Vivian now.